Let's hope you are great. Today we're going to take chapter 10, Chemical Compound, section 1, Ionic and Covalent Compound. Compound can be grouped by a kind of chemical bond they have. What's meant by chemical bond? Chemical bond is an interaction that holds atoms and ions together. So bond is an interaction that holds atoms and ion together. Bonding happens between valency electron of a different atom. What's meant by valency electron? Valence electron are electron in the outermost energy level of an atom. So valence electron are what? Are electron in the outermost energy level of an atom. For example, hydrogen has one atomic number. So this one is a valency electron. Another example, sodium atom with atomic number 11 has one electron in the outermost energy level as sodium in group 1, so has one electron in the outermost energy level. So this one is called valency electron. The type of compound that form depends on what happened to the valency electrons. Ionic compound and their properties. An ionic bond is an interaction between opposite charged ion. So what's meant by ionic bond? Attraction between opposite charged ion, between positive and negative. Or I mean a bond that formed between or formed by transfer of electrons from between metals and non-metals. So ionic bond is attraction between opposite charged ion between positive and negative. This bond that form between positive and negative called ionic bond. Compounds that have ionic bonds are called ionic compound. The properties of ionic compound are a result of strong attractive force as between positive and negative. For example, sodium chloride. Sodium lose one electron. Sodium has one electron in the outermost energy level, while chloride has 7 electrons in the outermost energy level. So it's easy for sodium to lose one electron and become positive charge, while chloride need one electron to be 8. So as a sodium chloride has 7 electrons in the outermost energy level, need one electron to be stable or to be 8. So gain electron, as chloride gain electron and become 8 electron. So the charge or the ion of chloride become negative. The attraction between positive and negative called, or bond between positive and negative called ionic bond. This compound called what? Called ionic compound. So the properties of ionic compound are result of strong attractive force. Ionic compound can be formed by reaction of metal with non-metal, metal like sodium, non-metal like chloride. Metal atom become positive charged ion like sodium when lose electron, as a metal lose electrons and become positive charge. When electrons are transferred from a metal to the non-metals, and non-metals gain electron and become negative charge. This transfer of electron also cause the non-metal atom to become negative charge ion. For example, sodium chloride or table salt is an ionic compound. So what is the properties of the ionic compound? First property, brittleness. Ionic compound tend to be brittle, solid at room temperature. So ionic compound brittle, solid at room temperature. They break because their ions are arranged in repeating 3-dimensional pattern called crystals. So the table salt is easy to break, has a property called brittle. Why? Because their ion in the table salt, for example, arranged in repeating 3 dimensions pattern called crystal. Arranged as a table salt like a crystals. Look, arrange the ion inside in the table salt, arranged like a crystals, like this, or in 3-dimensional pattern. Each ion in a lattice is bonded to the surrounding ion of the opposite charge When an ionic compound is hit, the ion move and the pattern change. Ions that have the same charge line up and repel one another, which cause the crystal to break. So what cause the crystal to break or to be brittle? As each ion in the crystals, for example, this is a positive ion, when it hits, what happened to this ion? Will rearrange. When an ionic compound is hit, the ion move and the pattern change. This pattern will change. Ions that have the same charge, like a positive charge, line up and repel one another. So what happened when these crystals hit? The bond between positive, or this pattern, arrangement of ion inside this pattern, will, this is a negative, this pattern will rearrange. So what happened? The same charge become in the same line and repel each other. For example, like this positive repel with this positive, and also so this line become positive charge, which will repel each other and become and can break easily. Example: sodium chloride crystals have a regular cubic shape like this picture, because of the way sodium and chloride ion are arranged in a crystal lattice. High melting point, which is another property. Because of strong bond that holds ion together, a bond between positive and negative charge. So this is a strong attraction. Ionic compounds have a high melting point. This high melting point are the reason the most ionic compound are solid at room temperature. So the most of the ionic compound are solid at room temperature. For example, solid sodium chloride must be heated at 801 Celsius before it will melt. Potassium dichromate melt at 398 Celsius. Nickel oxide melt at 1984 Celsius. So second property for ionic compound has a high melting point. So the first one, brittle due to rearrangement of crystal lattice, or rearrangement of ion in the crystal lattice shape, and the ion that have the same charge become line up. As ion that have same charge line up and repel one another. When repel, like when two positive repel each other, so two positive ion repel, or two negative ion repel each other, what happened? Which cause the crystals to break, which is the first property. Second property, high melting point. Solubility and electrical conductivity. Many ionic compounds are high soluble in water, like table salt, high soluble in water, so they dissolve easily in water. Water molecules attract each one of the ion of an ionic compound and pull the ion away from one another. The solution that forms when an ionic compound dissolves in water can conduct an electric current. So when ionic compound dissolve in water, it forms a solution. This solution can conduct electric current, can conduct electricity, because the ions are charged and are able to move freely past one another. As when form a solution, this solution have a negative and positive charge, have an ion, so this ion can move freely past one another like this. However, an undissolved crystals of an ionic compound does not conduct an electric current, while undissolved crystals or solid crystals cannot conduct electricity. Only soluble ionic compound can conduct electricity, like table salt after dissolved in water, while solid or table salt crystals cannot conduct electricity. Pure water, this is pure water, cannot conduct electricity, while salt water with a table salt conduct electricity. So the pure water does not conduct an electric current. However, the solution of salt water with a table salt conduct an electric current. So the bulb lights up. That's it. Thanks for watching.